Hey everyone, so today I would like to talk about a very important topic, and that's about what happens when you start to love yourself and start practicing self-love and all the amazing things that loving yourself brings to you into your life. So just happiness and just overall improvement with your life. And I'm just going to talk about some things that I've experienced that improved for me ever since I have been practicing self-love and caring for myself more. And one thing I could think of is that ever since I started practicing self-love, the people who I surround myself with and the people who I attract are also self-loving, and they're kind and they're caring and they want to uplift you and help you out. And I feel like this is very important, to surround yourself with people like that. I think it's beautiful if you have friends like that, and I just think it's very important for yourself to be surrounded with that kind of people so you can be happy. And I used to surround myself with people who didn't have the best intentions, whose daily or even just weekend activities would consist of drinking and smoking. And because I was included in that crowd, I would also do these kind of activities. And I think drinking and smoking is harmful. Everybody knows it's harmful, but when you start to practice self-love, you realize how important it is to only do things that make you feel good. And when I used to smoke, I remember one time my mom telling me that people who smoke, they don't love themselves. So I said, "Mom, you're silly. Like, just because I'm smoking doesn't mean I don't love myself." And a couple years later, when I was walking home one day, I'm pretty sure from work or something, I don't remember, I thought about what she had said to me a couple of years back, and I realized, like, wow, she was so right. Like, it just hit me. And then because of quitting smoking, I feel so much better. And I think that if you love yourself, you wouldn't be smoking, you wouldn't be drinking, because that's putting your self-worth down. And if you love yourself, you would only do things that are good for your body and that are good for yourself and make you feel good. And I know smoking for me definitely didn't make me feel good, because even if I didn't want one, I would still have one just because my body wanted it. And then it became obvious an addiction. And same with alcohol, that people needed to have fun and people needed just so they can let themselves go. But I think that if you truly love yourself, you also become more confident. So you won't need these things to be able to dance or to be able to talk to people and whatnot, because it's gonna come from within. There's the people I surround myself who are truly there for me and they love me. Another thing is that when you start to practice self-love and have more love for yourself, you become conscious of the food you're putting into your body, and you question everything that you ever did in your whole life. Especially me, for example. Practicing self-love just made me question everything in the world and made me question, oh, is this food good for me? Or what is it made out of? What does it come from? And for a couple of years now, I quit drinking pop, because I know pop has way too much sugar and it's just not good for your body. And I also stopped adding extra salt and extra sugar to my my meals that I eat. And I also stopped drinking coffee and eating fast food eating meat, dairy, eggs, and all that kind of stuff, because those foods won't make you feel good inside. And I know this because when I was eating those kind of foods, I always felt like so tired. I felt so like stressed out, and I just wasn't happy. And ever since I have been eating a vegan diet, plant-based diet, I have so much more energy and I just feel so much better. And I know that eating vegan is the most beneficial for me because it just makes me feel good. And I know that all the food I eat comes from a peaceful environment. What I mean by that is when you're consuming animal products, those products are the animals, and those animals have been through so many bad things, and they just go through such a trauma and fear and stress that when those animals get killed, that energy stays within the animal. And when people eat that, that's how people are also gonna feel, is they're just gonna have fear in them, they're gonna have stress in them and anxiety and all that stuff. And I believe that when we stop eating those kind of foods, we no longer receive that energy, because plants and stuff, they are so alive, and that's what we feel when we eat it. Well, for example, that's what I feel when I consume plants. And back to the topic of plants, another thing I've noticed when I started practicing self-love is that I just love everyone around me. Everyone includes my pet, that forest over there, the grass, random people on the streets. And I just realized that I'm so much more open-minded to people, and I realized that everybody goes through something, even myself, and it's very important just to show love towards everybody, because that's what I show towards myself. It's just love. And when you show love towards yourself, that's what you start to project out into the world. So I really think that loving yourself is important, because when you do, you start to attract the people you want around you, the loving, kind people. You start to feel about yourself, and your health will improve, and you will notice the world is beautiful.